What's good? It's RedIn30. The RedIn30 pod where we make you red in 30. Literally. We got 30 minutes to do this. And so I'm here, I'm DM. EJ, you here?
Yeah.
Rodney, you here?
Yeah.
We back at this thing. We believe in the entire Bible. We believe the Bible is a story about who you and I are, but we believe the red words tell us who we are in the story. We're talking about Jesus, truth, and you all using red words. I be doing it. I do the intro so many times. Sometimes I just might start just not do it, but I never know. I never know which episode somebody gonna come in on. You know what I'm saying? So those that follow us and if they've been going down the sequence and they'll hear it over and over again.
Right.
But you can never hear it enough.
Right.
I think it conditions my mind. But sometimes, come on, go ahead, because you already, go ahead.
Oh yeah.
You said that, go ahead.
So last part was about sequence, right? So I was thinking that's sequencing everything.
Everything has a sequence.
Well, so the reason why I say that because you go back to Genesis 1, 2, and he talking about the herb bearing seed and all that. But he told them tend to the land, you know. So you plant a seed, you water the seed. You watch it. You have to keep that going.
Oh, you show me something good.
But if you don't keep that sequence, technically the seed, it doesn't just grow.
Right.
Something got to be done to that.
The process.
The process they got to be done.
The process.
You know what I'm
gotta
saying?
be done,
Whether
right.
you can't switch water for orange juice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't. You know what I'm saying?
So you got to keep the same process and the same elements.
Same process, same elements. You don't take and then you planting certain seeds. You need certain soil, which requires certain other things. It might need fertilizer. You know what I'm saying? It might need a certain
AKA.
type of it might need a certain type of water with some minerals in it. It's just different stuff, but it's a sequence to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sometimes your dirt need a little.
Right.
I ain't come up with that plan, so don't get mad at me. I ain't say the whole word, so don't get mad. But sometimes it's a little dirt mixed with a little that ends up causing you to grow.
Right.
The adversity.
Right.
The adversity. But you embrace it as a part of the sequence.
Right.
Part of the order. You said the seed. So let's go back to Genesis. Talking to Genesis, right? For some of y'all, and if you ever ask me for it, I'll DM it to you. I'll send you the link to my playlist for this. But I got a playlist. We got a playlist that we listen to, and it's called The Garden and the Gospels, right? And there's another one that's called Life Before the Curse. We talking about pre-Dean, right? And what it is, Genesis 1 and 2, Matthew 6 and John 8.
And John 8, yep.
And we just keep going that cycle because Genesis 1 and 2, talks about the initial plan that God had for us. And so you said the sequence. Now he says this. He says, be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, dominate.
Yep.
Repeat. Fruitful,
That's it.
multiply, replenish, subdue, right? Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, dominate. Have dominion. This is the order. Now what has happened is, because you get out of order, now you want to dominate, but you hadn't replenished nothing.
Right.
How can you dominate something that you hadn't subdued first?
Yep.
Subdue. Subdue means you make it submit to you. It's in other words, submit, subduing, the same thing. But what causes subduing is the replenishing. It doesn't seem like that makes sense. It seems like you make something. It seems like you want to see. Oh my! We've been flipped.
Come on.
We've been flipped. Y'all know the street term for flipping them when they, y'all know what that means, right? Some of y'all know what that means. Don't worry about it. But when they're a flipper, you
Hit the track.
all right. Hey, but skip the flipper. Anyway, but we've been flipped. We've floozies. We've been flipped. Watch me.
Right.
Fruitful. Let's go on order, y'all. And I want y'all to say it with me just so we can remember the order, so y'all can help me remember the order, right? So fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, dominate. All right, and probably all four of those is what domination is, right? But I want to say them again: fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, dominate. Right? Watch how we've been flipped. we thought everybody wants to dominate and not start off with being fruitful. Watch the system. So now you got all these braggadocious people that want to dominate the industries, which in turn they're trying to subdue life and subdue other people. That's slavery comes from.
Yeah.
And then the subduing was dominate, subdue is backwards. Dominate, subdue, replenish, right? Mm-hmm. They want to replenish themselves, right? They want to multiply what they have and bring fruit for them.
Right.
You see the backwardsness of it?
Right.
It's been flipped. We've been out of order. We've been out of sequence. That's what Jesus comes and put the sequence back. I didn't come to do away with the law and the prophets, but I came to fulfill it. But he's flipping the sequence. You say you lay without, you commit adultery. I say if you thought about it, I'm flipping the sequence because he says the thought, the first thing comes is the thought, then the action.
Yeah.
But you've been trying to fix the action, right? But you never dealt with the serpent in your soul, man. We've been talking about that.
Yeah.
Talking about roots, talking about the things that's on the inside of us that we don't even know. So we didn't deal with the thing that was causing the action on the outside. You see how backwards it is, though? What the law, we were talking about this yesterday, Rodney, what the law could not do, and that is weak through the flesh. That's why it's weak through the flesh, because it goes the other way. It's trying to dominate, subdue, replenish, multiply, and be fruitful. When the process is be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and dominate. This is what true domination is, and it starts with being fruitful.
Yep.
And then you're multiplying the fruitfulness that you are, which in turn replenishes everything. And then now subduing, you ready for this? He says, name the animals and have dominion. Well, the dominion becomes easy when you're fruitful, you're multiplying, and you're replenishing everything. When you're giving everything what it needs, they say when you serve people, that's why they call him a servant. When you serve people, people begin to respect you.
Yeah.
Right? When it's a replenishing. When you provide, there's respect. People don't understand that. So they're trying to dominate and subdue without them being fruitful, multiplying, and replenishing. You get it? Y'all understand the process? So Romans 8 starts talking about the whole creation is waiting for the manifestation of the sons of God. They say they're living subject to vanity, and they're groaning because they're living subject to vanity, but not of themselves because we vanity. We're living in vanity of ourselves. We're vain. And because we're living in the vanities of ourselves, we're not even doing the things in life that are being fruitful, multiplying, replenishing, what's called subduing, subdue and dominate. Domination should not come from strong-arming somebody or manipulating somebody or being stronger. Domination should always come from subduing or submission. But I will not submit to somebody that has not been fruitful, multiplied, and replenished. We got in there right quick, didn't we? Yep. Like you see the difference? Yep. So Jesus begins to he retrieves certain responses. That's a word. That's a good word. He retrieves. That's a good word right there. He's able to retrieve certain responses. Right? He retrieves certain respect out of individuals because of how he's fruitful, multiplying, and replenishing. So it's easy for the submission.
Yeah.
Zacchaeus said, I give up. I give back everything I stole. What do you want me to do? What do I do it all? Mm-hmm. And we don't know what exactly he said at the house, but whatever it was, retrieved a certain response out of him.
Yep.
Y'all know if it was us or a lot of people, if Jesus would have spit in the dirt and put it in your eyes, now you couldn't have seen him do it because you was blind. It's just amazing. You would have never seen. You didn't know what he was doing. You'd have heard him. I don't know what he did.
Somebody would have said something.
But somebody would have said something.
Oh, he's spitting that man
eye. Boy, you about to put it. What you gonna let him put the spit in the dirt in your eye, right? So now, hey, what you doing? Hey, hold on, stop that on there, right? So somebody gonna say it, right? But there's a. I think we were talking about something else, EJ, in one of the other pods about how did we say it? He had to know he was the resource.
Yeah.
Jesus knew that he was the resource. He was. God is the source. I'm the source again.
Yep.
Like when you see me, you see the Father. I'm the source again. It's in the beginning all over.
Yeah.
Right. Like when you see me, it's the Alpha and Omega too.
Yep.
When you see me, it's the author and the finisher. Right. Because I'm one with the Father.
Right.
I watch me. So there's something about Jesus that retrieves a certain response and respect out of individuals, and a reaction. You get it? It's something about it, but it is the proper sequence that does this. Fruitful, multiply, replenish. Now, all of those things are words of abundance.
Yep.
All of those things are words of the fruitful, multiply, replenish. Are all life words. Can we use that phrase? So we'll use that phrase. We'll come up with life words. Yep. These are life words. All those words are pertaining to, or could be under the category of life, or giving life, or being life. They're life words. It's producing life. You can put those words in the same category as eternity. They're life. I'm coming that you might have, and life more abundantly. Those are abundance words, right? Then when we get to the subduing and the dominion, it is an automatic response to life. Come on, drum roll, please. It's an automatic response to life. So the things that we've been hustling for, Rodney, to try to get to submit to us and been trying to have dominion over, if we just be who we are and be fruitful, multiply, replenish, all these things will be. Yep. I just showed you the kingdom of God. Yeah. I just hey, we unlocking right here. Yeah. We unlocking. I just showed you the kingdom of God. That's the kingdom of God. Kingdom of God is fruitful, multiply, replenish. And also, are you ready? The kingdom of God. When you pray after this manner, our Father, whatever be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Where? In earth. As it is in heaven. Fruitful, multiply, replenish. Subduing dominion is automatic. Right. And then you repeat.
Right.
But everything has a sequence. But because we were out of sequence, and because we're out of order, everything is everywhere. Somebody trying to replenish before they've been fruitful. You know what I'm saying? People trying to multiply dominion. Or they're trying to multiply subduing. And see, it's all out of order, but you got to go in the order that he said.
Right.
Be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, dominate. You get it? And if we go in the right order, this is why he says, come to me, labor and heavy laden again. And I give you rest. Take my yoke and learning from meek and little heart, you'll find rest for your. So what you about to say? You about to say something?
It made me think about, driving stick shift.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. You know how to drive a stick, Rodney? You drive a stick? Yeah, I don't know how to drive a stick shift, but I had to learn how to shift with riding a motorbike.
Right.
Yeah.
So you driving stick shift, and you got your automatics.
Uh-huh.
But you put those together. You put both of those together.
Uh-huh.
First three, fruitful, multiply, stick shift.
Uh-huh.
And then the rest is automatic.
The rest is automatic. And all right, you ready for this? The stick shift, which a lot of cars were automatically without the automatic, right?
Right.
You just had to know how to shift, hit the clutch and all that at the right time, right? You had to rev it up when they get over there. Your cars do it. Your cars are always shifting right now,
right?
But it's automatic. You got manual and automatic, right? But you graduate from the manual. We just talked about the manual in the last one, right? You graduate from the manual to the automatic to where all you're doing is putting in drive, and the machine that you have begins to shift on its own. Now, that's good. And I said graduate, and that's good, but there are some times that you can take that car and put it in the sport. Mm-hmm. You go from automatic and put it in the sport. Because although the machine has a trigger and knows when to shift for the next gear, sometimes in riding a motorbike, and that's the only way I know how to shift, in riding a motorbike, I can push it all the way to the end of that third gear, and at a certain time, I pop the clutch and hit that fourth gear, and it make me shoot out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. The car is the same way. So I know I have a better sensory than the machine on when to shift. Mm-hmm. Right? So are you telling me that like the car, and I hope I didn't cut you off with the thought. No. If you're telling me, what you're telling me is that the fruitful is a shift, is a gear.
Yeah.
The multiply is another gear.
Yep.
The replenish is another gear. Then subdue, we get automatic. Now we've the bikes that I ride, the bike that I got, the motorbike I got now, got 5 gears. Ain't it something?
Right.
Fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, dominate. Got 5 gears. At first gear, I'm probably still in the neighborhood. I always drop it down the first one. I'm trying to stop. What you thought? I saw your mind. I saw your eyes light up just now. And I'm stopping at the light or whatever. I got to drop it down at first. I can never start off my journey or my pull. Like when I pull off on the bike, I can never start off in 5th because it'll kill.
Right.
I can't start off in third.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can get away with it in second. But for the most part, I got to be in first or second, right? In order to be able to pull off, just to start off. But once I get going, then I'm shifting. If I got enough open road, enough play, I can shift and get in the fifth gear. When I get in the fifth gear, now I'm cruising. I'm at a certain speed, and now I'm cruising. And I'm cruising for a long time. And the engine actually works smoother and functions more efficient in the fifth gear than the first. You know what I'm saying? You have better what's the word? You have better gas consumption in fifth gear than you have in first, because you keep your first and second, you're still going down. But then when jets are like that. There's a certain level that you fly and you get to certain levels. When you get and every jet can't go to every level because it's different ones.
Right.
When they get to a certain altitude, the air is super thin. There's nobody up there but you, because only certain jets can go up there, and it begins to. Your fuel consumption begin to save because you got less pressure against you. Right. So your engines have to work less. Yeah. And now you're moving faster.
Yeah.
You get it? That's the dominion. But in order to get dominion, we got to unlock, and there's sequence. Those are the keys. I've given you the keys of the kingdom. You gave them to him in the garden. You mean tell me this man gave me the keys to life in the garden? And we've been trying to figure out what fruitful, be fruitful.
Yeah.
Be fruitful, multiply, replenish. Y'all, I want to turn this podcast off because I'm thinking about what we doing with the few. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking my mind has just multiplied with what happens. See, the beginning is, Jesus was a businessman too. Yep. He'll give you clarity on all of it. I must be about my father's business. All right, watch me. Some of y'all watching, but you don't understand. The number one step to success and good success, because you got differences, right? And what comes next is being fruitful. So produce, be fruitful, right? Then that fruit that you realize that you're fruitful, then you multiply that. Do it again. I bet you can't do it again. Do it again. Do it a bunch of times. Now, you got to realize multiplication is not adding.
Yeah.
It's not addition.
Yep.
It's multiplying. That means double it up.
Yep.
Multiply. So now the fruit that you have, multiply and allow it to replenish whatever lane or area that you're working in. What happens next? The lane, the industry, the system, whatever it is that you're in, will submit to you. You'll subdue it.
Yep.
And then you become a dominator in that system, but you're not a dominator like these guys that want to dominate and take people over and strong on people. But you're dominating because you dominate. You ready? Oh my God! God dominates. You ready for this? God is He's the source. He's the man. He's all over. Because God dominates through provision.
Come on.
Have you ever heard that before? You dominate through provision. You dominate. True domination, right? It comes from a root of production. It comes from a root of production and provision. You get it? Provision. It comes from a root of that. It comes from this place to where that's what Jesus talking about, meek and little heart, you find rest for your soul, because you've been working from the wrong end.
Right.
You've been working in heavy laden because you've been trying to be a dominator. You want to be a boss, right? You know what I'm saying? That ain't what he's saying. If you provide, if you're fruitful, I was reading it today. I'm the vine, you the branches. Mm-hmm. My Father is the husbandman. Then he goes and says, I'm the vine, you the branch. Any branch in me that bears fruit, he purges it, that it can bear much more fruit. Mm-hmm. Right? He said, any branch in me that doesn't bear fruit, he cut it off and it's cast into the fire. You see, he's talking about bearing. The conversation is bearing fruit. Because if I'm bearing fruit, then I'm fruitful. If I'm fruitful, then I'm useful. Because that means somebody can eat. Not only can somebody eat, but somebody can eat and take the inside of whatever they get and multiply what I multiplied to them. If this doesn't sound like evangelism, I don't know what it is. It's more than your conversation. It's the provision.
Right.
It's more than just what you're saying. It's what you're proving. I listened to a dude, and I'll talk to you about it off air because I won't say his name on here. But he had a really good interview today, and he was like, man, EJ, you remember the statement I said? You remember writing too. Years ago, I heard God tell me, he said, if you want them to do something different, you got to give them, if you want them to do something better, you got to give them something better to do.
Yeah.
Don't expect anybody to do anything better if you don't give them something better to do. The dude I listened to today, he was saying, you got to give a better solution to dudes in the hood than just saying, go get a job.
Yeah.
So you got to create other solutions and give a better solutions that may, and he didn't know what he was saying, but I do, and maybe we're going to link one day. I know what he's saying, but he's saying a solution that unlocks their creativity, unlocks the strength that's already in them in a lane, right? So they can naturally be fruitful in who they are and not using their ability to be fruitful for a system.
Right.
Y'all get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Being fruitful, somebody else is using your fruit for their benefit.
Yep.
You get it? It's unlocking, but we've got to learn the sequence. We've got to learn the order. So Jesus is trying to teach us the order all the time. He tries to teach us the key. He tries to teach us the sequence. Soon as Matthew 16 again, soon as he tells him you got the key, I give you the keys of the kingdom. The gates says not I give you the keys of the kingdom. Whether you're bound on earth, bound in hell, what you loose on earth, loose in heaven, right? Matthew 16, y'all go read it, right? Right after that, they say he began to tell them how. Can I read it? Hold on, let me get to it. I want to say Matthew 16. All right, and he said, verse 19, Matthew 6:19 said, I will give unto you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. God, dog, it's the kingdom of heaven. I'm going to give you the keys to unlock heaven in you. That's what it is. Huh? Fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue. Now you don't have to worry about it. Once again, you don't have to worry about the subduing and the domination.
Right.
Because it is a fruit. It is a fruit of the fruit.
Right.
Subduing and domination is a fruit of fruitful, multiply, replenish.
Right.
Because he said, I give you every herb man seed. In other words, he's trying to tell you when you plant the seeds, the first thing comes fruitful, multiply, replenish. Subduance comes from there. I don't know if subduance is a word, right? And domination, right? He said, whatever thou bound on earth, bound in heaven. Whatever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loose in heaven, right? Verse 20. Watch this. Now you got to understand the sequence. Mm-hmm. It says, then he charged his disciples. In other words, charged, he gave a command. He gave them a charge. I charged his disciples that they should tell no man that he was Jesus the Christ. So now that y'all know, it almost sounds crazy, huh? Mm-hmm. Go tell them about Jesus. Be Jesus.
Yep.
Don't go tell them about him being. I'm going to say it on here right now. They didn't heard enough about Jesus. They didn't heard enough about Jesus and what he can do for them and all the different things that he did. They didn't heard people that they've heard enough. Who are you? Jesus, I know, Paul, I know, but who are you? We've heard enough about Jesus. Can you go ahead and be Jesus? Can you be Yeshua? Can you be he who saves? Can you be the Christ? Can for once, can you stop telling me the stories and actually be the word in the flesh? Then he charged the disciples that they tell no man that he was Jesus the Christ. It's crazy, right? Verse 21, it says, from that time forth. Now, we don't know how long that time, but it's from that time that they talked forward, right? And because we read the Bible, we think it was 10 minutes later. It could have been days or whatever, but it says, I like that phrase, from that time forth. So from whatever time that was forward, began Jesus to show his disciples. Now. Oh, man, I never saw this, y'all. I never read this like this. You got to slow down and read. That's why I love reading the Gospels. And it's live right now. We're reading it. He began to show his disciples how that he must go unto Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief of priests and scribes and be killed and raised again on the third day. Now, I don't know. It didn't say he told them, and I always thought it was saying he was telling them.
Yeah.
But it said he showed them. So I don't know if this said from that time forth began Jesus to show his disciples. So was he doing this in his actions? Was he doing this with how he was relating to people? It could have been different things that was happening and how he was relating to them that he was showing his disciples. I just hit the word show in the Strongs, and it says to show, expose to the eyes, to give evidence or proof of a thing, to show by words or teach. You get me? So now he's talking and showing, giving evidence of proof. So he's proving to them that how, it says how too. I be skipping words. It says how that, not that he must go, but how. Y'all hearing this conversation? Not that he must go and suffer many things, go to Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders, chief priests, and scribes, and be killed and be raised again. But he's showing them how, because he could have just went another way.
Right.
But he's showing them how that he must go into Jerusalem and suffer many things of the elders and chief of priests and scribes, and be look at the order, and be killed and raised again the third day. He's giving them the order. Whatever I just told you that I was giving you the keys to, here's the order. And I'm about to show you how.
Right.
And the how is, I got to go and be ridiculed. I got to suffer. The adversity, embrace your adversity, because inside your adversity is the key. I got to suffer. We crying and stuff. I mean, y'all ever cried over anything? We crying and we upset because what's going on. And I understand it in the moment.
Yeah.
But in those moments, you got to realize, nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done. Lord, if you can, I don't want to cry no more, let this cup pass. Nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done. And he shows them how he meant to suffer many things.
Right.
Of the elders and the chief of priests and the scribes, all the ones that think they know what's going on. I got to suffer many things of them people. They don't even know what's going on. And be killed. But then he says, and be raised on the third day. Here go Peter. Then Peter took him and began to rebuke him. Does it sound like, when you find Peter, you got to find yourself.
That's provision.
That's provision.
What he was showing, that's all provision.
Yeah, he was providing. That's all showing the providing.
Yeah.
100%. But they didn't see it as providing because, watch this, what he's about to say next, I don't know how much time ago, what he's about to say next is going to show how they looked at things. You ready? Mm-hmm. He says, then Peter took him and began to rebuke him and saying, be it far from thee, Lord, this shall not be unto thee. Now, Peter is the other version of you that's trying to preserve self. Mm-hmm. But he turned and said unto Peter, get thee behind me, Satan, for thou art an offense to me, a stumbling block. For thou savorest not the things that be of God, but those that be of men. Listen to what he's saying. Then he goes right into then he turned unto his disciples. He teaches the lesson again. He said, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself. Why? Because if you try to preserve yourself, you won't even see the provision. Whoa. Did you hear the statement? Mm-hmm. As long as you're trying to preserve yourself, you don't see the provision that you are. And preservation is always trying to get provision from outside.
Right.
But when I realized that to show him many that'll be that the kid that they got to suffer many things of the chief and the scribes and all them and be killed and resurrect, he's showing me the order, be fruitful, multiply, repentance. He's showing me the provision. But because of self, I feel like something's being taken away from me. So now Peter jumps up on the inside of me and said, be not so unto you, Lord, and begin to rebuke me. And the man come to let him deny himself, take up his cross, follow me. For whoever will save his life shall lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake shall find it. What profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul? What profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? What is the profit if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? And what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? It's the process.
He was doing two things, but showing them providing.
Showing the provision.
Right, provision, right. But also provision means foresight. Look ahead, arranging.
That what provision means?
Yeah.
Provision.
Provision, foresight, prudence, care, providing beforehand, the action of arranging in advance.
Fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue. When he's showing them, we gotta go because it's 30 minutes. Is he showing them how he must go and suffer many things? He got to go to Jerusalem, suffer many things of all the famous, all the high placed people, suffer many things, and then be killed and resurrect. He's showing the foresight, the provision. He's showing you things that you cannot see on your own, so that things that you cannot produce on your own, you can produce. So don't let Peter, which AKA, don't let Satan, the savoring of things that be of men. You know what he means when he say savor the things that be of men? He's talking about saving their order.
Yep.
You're doing things in their order. Get this, and you can dominate and you'll beat somebody. It's the wrong order. We've been flipped. This is RedIn30, guys. When I be finishing right now, We finished. I'm talking to myself. I gotta go back and listen to it.
All right.
And
all right.
freedom. That's all we're looking for is freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom.